I love rocking out to that song.
Oh my goodness. And of course our live feed right here is constantly going in and constantly going out. But however here, what we try to do is try to do as much as we can when we can type of thing. And of course we're horribly out of frame as well, which is absolutely fantastic. But you know what, folks, we'll get on to that as much as we possibly can. Look at that, Candy. You're looking sexy.
Thank you,
what we'll do here is we'll punch through the comic book stuff, and then we'll hop into some wrestling stuff. That's okay with you, sir?
Yes.
Excellent. Just like comic book, just like gaming and movies, it's a very, very slow week for where are you going? Oh my God! For actual comic books as well. But however, some of the headlines have included the following. Nicolas Cage. Remember Nicolas Cage?
Nick Cage, as he likes to be called now, I think.
That's right.
So.
He has sold his Action Comics #1.
He had one.
He had one.
He had a copy.
For
Wow.
$2 million.
And he needed that money, apparently, I guess.
You think so? Well, you know, his movies are doing so well. You know what I mean? It's sort of like, hey, you know, I need more money. Why do you need more money? Well, because, you know, I just need more money. Oh, okay, what are you going to sell? Oh, I got this comic. All right, fine. Sell the comic. So, in regards to being a very slow news week for comics, this whole 52 thing, which a lot of people are getting, is absolutely fantastic. But, however, there's some problems with it. And my top 5 problems with, the top 5 problems is that, first off, number 5 is the collectability aspect. You know, if you have, as an example, you know, Action Comics #1, something for $2 million from Nick Cage, it's going to be really difficult to have all the other comic books because there's nothing really pushing it forward anymore. You know what I mean? So everyone's starting at #1. It's very, very anxious to see if things work or not, and it's just not a lot of fun. Number 4, the same old gimmicks. So here's what DC has done. They took so much time, so much trouble, and all the anxiety that follows thereof to actually have this particular new reboot. And out of the last 3 to 4 issues of the whole DC universe, it seems to be same old with the gimmicks. At number 3, diversity for the sake of diversity versus story. I'm not impressed by that. Reason being is that I'm not racist or sexist by any stretch of the imagination. But however, when it comes to writing, I think that the writer specifically chose to have X, Y, and Z. That's how the story goes. Purposely putting in people of different ethnic origins for the sake of ethnic origins, I think takes away from the whole story process. But again, that's just me. And it's up to publishers of what stories they wish to choose. So very interesting, if you know what I mean. And also, number 2 is it's all new in name only. So it's nothing new under the stars. It's very, very unfortunate, very, very frustrating. So it's like, okay. And also on top of that, the loss of continuity. These books, or at least a good chunk of them, are really in a mess. Some of them are not. It's very fortunate in how these things are working out. But however, we can only hope that people at Warner Brothers, who owns DC Comics, will make the right decision and move forward in the right direction. So yeah, man, lots of fun with that. And also TV, very slow week as well. A lot of my favorite shows have taken a hiatus to basically bump up other shows, which I have zero interest in, except for one, which is Dexter. And oh my goodness, fantastic. I also in cartoon news saw Ben 10, not bad at all. It's going to be actually hitting some actual grown-up storylines, you know what I mean? And
Ben's growing up, right? So.
Well, yeah, and the thing is, the storyline is also growing up with it, which I'm very, very pleased to see, because for the longest time, Ben 10's always been this cocky kid who's a superhero with lots of identity, but seems to, you know, roll around with that pretty good. And now it just seems to be a lot of the stuff that he overlooks is now catching up with him, which is very cool to see. Plus, on top of that, I think the new Thundercats came out. No, it wasn't Thundercats. For the life of me, I can't remember the other piece of anime I've seen recently. It's very unfortunate. But however, again, very slow time in TV land. But however, one of the few things that's never slow, matter of fact, it's more like a pile driver to your head, is wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious. We have so much notes over that, it's not close.
Yes.
So, how do you kick this off, Kennedy?
Should we try to stay in order?
Sure.
Well, last Tuesday when we got off the air, there was a live holiday special of SmackDown, which Mick Foley guest host, and he was Santa Claus for the day and giving out Christmas presents to all the
And
good
even screwed that up!
superstars on the SmackDown roster. You know, gave Daniel Bryan a shot for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, how that turned out.
He got squashed. Well, I wouldn't say squashed, but other than the World's Strongest Slam off the top rope. But it's good to see him getting the push to be in the main event and getting a chance for, the World Heavyweight Championship, because I'm a big fan of Daniel Bryan, or Daniel Bryan, as I still like to call him, the American Dragon. So, yeah, it wasn't too bad of a SmackDown. I usually am more of a Raw guy, but I like the whole live feel of the show. So the more live SmackDowns I do, I'll probably watch it more, and you never know, they might just do live Fridays after a while. But SmackDown has always been considered the tryout show. See how, like, for example, Alberto Del Rio, he was on SmackDown first, of course, and did a really good job on there. So they pushed him over to the Raw brand, and he's just been taking it over. So that was Tuesday for us after our show, and then basically.
I wasn't impressed with the women's thing. That was horribly delivered. We should have slapped Foley when we saw him about that.
The women's? Oh, you mean the mistletoe match?
Yeah, that was just really, really bad. I wasn't too impressed with sort of like they had the Christmas Battle Royale, which the winner could wish anything that he wanted.
Yeah.
And the other thing I wasn't too impressed with is that Hornswoggle won that whole fiasco.
Yeah.
And
would you rather have been Sheamus? Are you a Sheamus fan?
Well, I'll put it to you this way. Mr. Kennedy. You're going to invest my time into something, make it worth my time, and we do, as you stated several times, yes, to some fans, SmackDown is the B show as a tryout of new talent just to see if they gel well with the rest of the actual WWE brand. But, however, at the same time, I think that SmackDown should have more respect for itself, and they have this fantastic championship called the World Heavyweight Championship, which in my opinion holds a megaton of prestige. And having that belt being thrown around like a piece of toilet paper is absolutely disgraceful for all the individuals that held that title that came before that. And at the same time here, having Hornswoggle win this massive battle royale just so he could speak. Oh my goodness gracious. I don't know who wrote that, but that was just absolutely are you kidding me type of thing. Out of all the combinations they could have, out of all of the actual energy and artists they had connected with that, the only thing we walked away with is that now Hornswoggle can speak normal Latin English. What? Am I 12? Like, oh my goodness, guys. Like, come on.
That's the target audience these days, so.
Yeah, but at the same time here, wrestling isn't exactly a 12-year-old show. Never has been, never will be. But WWE is trying to do that to actually foster their actual, younger audience that can bleed into the new actual, into the new stuff. It's like, this is just, if you're not going to cater towards all the audience, why bother catering at all? You know what I mean? So, as I'm thankful that our favorite hardcore legend Mick Foley got some more television time, I gotta tell you, I'm feeling more and more insulted as we go along here. And it's like, come on. There's ways to make things work for all parties, and they're just not doing it. I think they're just getting more and more lazy as time goes on, but that's just me. So yeah, that's my sort of take on SmackDown. And I'm hoping that this Tuesday maybe is a little bit better, hopefully. So they're not live to air, they have more time to editing booth to make things look a little better.
Friday on the score for us and sci-fi in the States.
Or if you want cheap, find online.
Yeah, it does make a day early. On the interwebs, so.
So that's our Tuesday, and then our Saturday consisted of what? Remember?
Yes, Mick Foley and his hardcore comedy tour
Woo!
made its way down from Toronto all the way, through all the traffic jams and stuff like that. Finally made its way to Waterloo at the Starlight Lounge in Waterloo. Yes. And it had quite the reception. A lot of people turned out. I saw a lot of wrestling fans with a lot of his books and his headshots, all waiting to get that signed and just waiting in anticipation to hear what Foley has to say.
And you know what? He wasn't that bad.
A friend of ours that came along with us, named Fitzsimmons, he's not the big wrestling fan, but he knows of Mick Foley, and he had a great time. Thought Mick Foley was hilarious. So those who aren't wrestling fans, and I'm pretty sure 98% of everyone in the audience was a wrestling fan, but the other small percent just laughed and had a good time regardless, even if they didn't get all the wrestling jokes.
And also on top of the other comics that were there as well, which unfortunately don't escape my particular grasp, were absolutely fantastic as well. If Mick Foley ever comes back with the same comedy troupe, I highly recommend it. And I think there's maybe one, maybe two more stops as well. So if you can, through your favorite search engine, type in Mick Foley plus comedy.
Mick Foley, if you remember part of the whole get up, he was like, Google Mick Foley.
You jump in the gun.
Hell in the Cell and feminist.
Okay, wait a second.
And you'll get
Kennedy.
Kennedy.
You're jumping the curve here. Basically, type in Mick Foley plus comedy, and maybe through that you can find the rest of his actual tour list.
Yes.
But however, for estimates and giggles, you can basically type in Foley plus what's the other stuff there?
I believe it was Hell in the Cell plus feminist.
There you go. And check it out. Lots of fun with
or I think it was. I don't even think you have to put Foley. It's how you got his name in as a search result on Google. I think you put Hardcore Legends, Hell in the Cell, and Feminist, and the number one result page rank is Mick Foley. So
there you go. So that's not too bad. Eh? So if you guys want to have some fun when you're playing around with your dad's computer or your parents' computer, you don't know how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's us for Saturday. We're very fortunate to also interview Mick Foley.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have that interview queued up for audio yet?
Yeah, we can play it.
Awesome. So we're going to play the audio portion of the actual interview that we had. If you want to watch the full-length video, you could do as such. The links will be in our actual wrap-up sheet, which I'll get to eventually. But however, in the meantime, I'll have the information posted and the links within this actual video. So we're going to play you just the audio component, so Mr. King hasn't heard himself through all of this. And we'll go back more into our wrestling stuff.
So folks, here we go.
That's a good shot.
Down the stairs we go.
I should make this already.
Yeah. Is it on max volume?